What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to have a little bit of a different video. Today we are going to be checking out the best hidden architectural gem in Oregon, the Mount Angel Abbey Library designed by Alvar Aalto. Super excited to take you guys along, but since this is a closed channel, of course, you know we have to do a fit check first. And if you're new here, definitely like this video and subscribe. All right, so for our top, we have this vintage 90s J. Crew striped sweater. Honestly, it just fits me perfectly. If you guys want to learn a little bit more about this sweater, I did make a vintage sweater collection video a couple weeks ago, so I will have that linked for you guys. And underneath the sweater, we have this vintage 80s champion Arizona State football tee. I went to Arizona State. I love how this thing fits. And the biggest thing for me when I'm wearing a sweater or a sweatshirt is I don't want a t-shirt to be popping out from underneath. So this one just kind of fits me perfect for that purpose. And for our footwear, we have these Made in Japan Converse. These are based off of 80s Made in USA Converse. And if I might add, these are honestly better than those. They're really great quality. They fit perfectly. I do have an older video up on the channel about my Converse comparison, but I will be making a new footwear video soon. So stay tuned for that. All right, so since it's my favorite time of year where we get to wear sweaters and sweatshirts with shorts, obviously we had to go with some shorts. These are a pair of 60s Vietnam era OG 107s that I cut off, and then we have like a 60s or 70s studded belt with some nice floral studs. And this is what everything looks like on. As you can see, we have a really nice kind of like 90s vibe, some prep mixed with some grunge. Really like it, but with that all being said, let's get on the road. We just parked. It is a very beautiful location. I'm probably gonna get some footage of the location. I wish I could have gotten some footage of the drive here because I think that driving in Oregon, especially once you get into these like kind of back roads, is really, really beautiful. But that being said, I'm going to get some footage. I'm probably not going to be talking inside the library because it's a library. And yeah. As you can see, once you're inside the building, it is all kind of built around this curve in the center here where the information desk is. And it like extends to the skylights, which I thought was a really cool detail. This is kind of the study area when you go down to where like all the books are. And then I just like how all of the rows of books follow the same curve. This is one of those like study alcoves. I thought it was a really great view when you walk up to it. Honestly, this doesn't do it justice the way that it lights up the space. This is some of the original furniture they had on display. I think that the better piece, or the piece I like more, is the fan leg side table. These are pretty rare and I've only seen a couple of them. Every once in a while you'll see them on Instagram, but super cool. And then this is kind of like the study area. Again, it follows like the curvature of the building. They also had a room full of old texts, like religious texts, and it just smelled so insane in here. Like, I can't even describe it. And then I was jealous. This is what I really wanted to see, but it was in somebody's office. They did have this original alto vase, though, too, which was really cool to see. And they also had the dedication as well as a little area with quotes from Alvar Aalto, as well as a small library dedicated to him as well. And then once you got outside, I really liked how they kind of had the entrance because it is lined with wood, as you can see. And then this is just kind of a better view of the view from the library. All right, so we just got back. I did want to give you guys some final thoughts about the library since I was unable to really film in there. When I found out that this was in my backyard, I knew that I just had to go. It is a great, like, just free excursion for you to do if you're in the Portland area. And I feel like it just like embodies what a library should be. And I feel like when you have these like master designers and master architects, like there's just a feeling that you get that's really hard to put into words out of what the architects were thinking when they designed spaces like this is like, how does this pertain, like how does the person who's going to be in this library, like how are they going to relate to the library, how is the library going to relate to nature? And it just feels like really seamless, if that makes sense, because everything is so intentional in there, from the way that the skylights are, the way that the entire library is curved, and all of the curves inside the library follow the curve of the building. It just feels like just like really effortless, even though there's obviously like a lot of effort put into designing the building. And some of the things that stood out to me was, you know, like I said, they do have like a respect the sacred silence policy in there. And like there were other people there, but you didn't hear anybody. Like I walked past a few people and I just was kind of like not spooked or like shocked, but it was just like I didn't expect anybody to be there because everybody respected the space, which was really cool. And then the other thing was like designing around that. I feel like they did such a good job of designing the space so that it didn't feel like you were too secluded, even though you could like totally be in your own little world. Like when I'm talking about this, I'm specifically thinking about how there's all those study areas that are on the first floor and then the second floor below that, and they're wide open and they use like stools, so you and everybody has their individual lamp and stuff, but if there were a ton of people there, everybody would feel connected even though nobody's talking or like collaborating or something like that, because it's just that's the way that the building is designed. And then you're connected to the rest of the building because you're all sitting on this curve that follows the curve of the building. And the other things that really stood out to me were like the windows when when you go down to the lower level. Just, I mean, the scenery in Oregon is like really good anyways. But like just the way that like when you walk down like a row or a column of books, I don't know what the proper term would be, but you walk down aisle. That's what I'm looking for. When you walk down the aisle, like you just get sucked in. And I tried to like take a few shots that like kind of capture that for you guys, but again, it's just something that you need to see in person. The last note that I have, honestly, is that it smells like a library, like how a library should smell, and not in like a old musty book way, but just like in a there's a ton of books in here way. Like I don't know how to describe it to you, but it just smelled so good in there. It like, cuz sometimes like you could be in a library or somewhere where there's a ton of old books and it just smells like mildewy. I guess my rice is done. But it just smells like mildewy and like not that great. But this just smelled like opening an old book, but like not too overwhelming. I can't really describe it in words. It's just something that you have to experience. And I highly recommend that you experience it if you are in Portland on vacation or you live in Portland and just want something to do. Highly recommend checking out this library. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of blast through the stuff that I'm not gonna wear, just show you guys super quick, and then the thing that I'm probably gonna keep, I will show you guys in a little bit more detail. So, first thing we found is this vintage Gap Fair Isle sweater. These things just sell. This one is 100% lamb's wool, and you can see the tag, 14 bucks, but it was half off, so it was $7. We got all of this stuff from Shirts and Pants. If you guys have seen his reels, he's been blowing up. Goes to the same bins as me. Checked out the store because it's on your way back into Portland. So if you guys want some really cheap stuff, definitely check him out. He's got good stuff for cheap. Next, we have this vintage, probably Y2K Grateful Dead all over print tee. It is on a Sundog tag, hand dyed. This was $10, but actually $5 because it was half off day. Last piece, super quick. We have this State of Oregon Games tee on that vintage Nike blank Just Do It hit on the back. This thing's practically in dead stock condition. If you guys are interested in any of these things, DM me on Instagram. I'll give you a way better price than I'm going to list them for on eBay. All right, so the last piece that we got is this tin cloth jacket, kind of like an M65 style, a little bit modified. It is by the brand Feel More, and it is made in Japan. It's got great quality to it, honestly. For what I could find, this is kind of a defunct brand that had a shop on La Brea in like 2010. So I don't think that it's the brand that makes this piece. I think that it is more so just the material and the fact that I got it so cheap. This was $10 half off. Well, it was $20, so it was $10 half off. Some of the other details I just want to run through real quick before I throw it on. It is on a Talon fan zip, which is cool. You've got a nice pocket on the inside in addition to all of the exterior pockets. And they did a good job with the flat felled seams. So, all right, so this is what it looks like on. As you can see, it fits pretty well. We've got the pockets all over the place. But yeah, I've just been wanting like a tin cloth jacket for myself because it rains a lot here and I want something that does not just look like a rain jacket to wear. So I was excited to find this. I think another detail I like is that these buttons the zipper ends right here and then it's just buttons. So when you zip it up, it's kind of flared out a little bit, which is a nice detail. But with that, that is our video for this week. I appreciate all the feedback. If you guys like this video, definitely leave a comment down below. And if you guys want to see more stuff from Portland and the Pacific Northwest, let me know what you guys want to see.